So a very good morning, all the students who are present and listening to my lecture currently, and those who were continuing with me, being with me all the time, know that we have already started with chapter number 12 of our secretarial practice, correspondence with statutory authorities. And we have already finished two important topics out of that. So in the last lecture we saw that जैसे एक पर्टिकुलर हेड एक इंस्टीट्यूट को लीड करता है and under him there are various different people working, वो delegate करता है, different departments का head बनाता है and similarly gets information regarding all of this stuff. In the same way, the central government has appointed different statutory institutes in order to carry out and look after different sectors of the economy. एक होता है corporate sector, एक होता है business sector. That means business and corporate are one and the same. एक होगा regarding the financial markets, that is capital markets, money market. वो एक जन को allot किया गया है. One, the other will look after कोई grievance को solve करना है, problems है, complaints है, how to handle it. The other will be legal department and so on. So in our last lecture class, those who were there with me, we had already finished two statutory authorities in detail. जो था number 1, MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and दूसरा was the fourth one, SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India. Today's lecture will focus on the next two institutes which you can see downwards. That is ROC, Registrar of Companies, and NCLT and NCLAT. So बच्चा लोग, without wasting time, let's begin with the next important statutory institute appointed by the central government. ROC. तो बच्चे लोग, इस बंदे का इंट्रोडक्शन ऑलरेडी हम काफी चैप्टर्स में देख चुके हैं, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम द सेकेंड चैप्टर इटसेल्फ, व्हेन वी स्टार्टेड लर्निंग कंपनीज, डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ बिजनेस ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस. सो जैसे आप लोग पैदा हुए थे and a certificate was granted by the concerned hospital, or previously municipality used to give the birth certificates. In the same way, there is a person who is responsible for giving the certificate of incorporation and registering the company in order to bring it into existence. So the Companies Act 2013 has empowered the central government to appoint the ROCs for registration of companies and administering the Companies Act in the state over which it has jurisdiction. ROCs are full-time field officers who have wide powers and responsibilities in administering the Companies Act. So basically, company ka registration, incorporation, everything related to the Companies Act is handled by ROCs who are appointed by the central government. तो duties क्या होती है ROCs की? The ROCs have to examine the various documents filed with it by the companies in compliance with the Companies Act 2013. जैसे हमने last time पढ़ा था बच्चे लोग, whatever legal thing the company does, it has to inform and get in touch with the ROC. उसको ROC को A to Z information देना पड़ता है. If any document received by it is found to be defective or incomplete, it shall ask the company to rectify the defect or complete the document within the prescribed time period. The ROCs have to take the decisions on documents filed with it and reply within 30 days from the date of filing the documents. तो एक महीने के अंदर अंदर ROC टाइम लेता है, चेक करता है whether the documents submitted by the companies are proper or not, और verify करने पर if it finds any faults regarding the documentation, it reverts back to the company and tells the company to either rectify it or complete it. अगर incomplete दिखा गया है तो on payment of the prescribed fees, all the documents filed or registered with the ROC is available for inspection by the public and they can even ask for a copy of it. तो मतलब जो भी काम उन्होंने किया legally register करवा दिया है. So now as a shareholder in the company, the public can ask for a copy of it or any information related because it cannot go to the company's office ना directly. तो अगर उसे कोई भी जरूरत होगी related to the company, so it can go and ask to the registrar of companies. ROC charges fees for filing various documents with it. The fees are charged as per the rates given in the company's registration office and fees rules 2014. So of course वो मुफ्त में तो काम करेगा नहीं, तो it charges fees for it and fees दिया जाता है as per जो भी एक्ट में स्पेसिफाई किया गया है. Now let's see what are the powers of ROC. The very first power the ROC has is it can extend the time of holding the annual general meeting except the first AGM by not more than 3 months. First AGM होने के बाद, if the company is not able to conduct its next annual general meeting, it can request the ROC to give them some time and extend the period up till 3 months. मतलब और 3 महीने के लिए आगे postpone कर सकते हैं if the company is not able to conduct its second or thereafter next AGMs. First के लिए it cannot ask. First तो compulsory जो time रहता है उसी time पे होनी चाहिए. कब होगी, कैसे होगी, आने वाली स्लाइड आपको बताने वाली हूँ. उसके अंदर क्या टाइम पीरियड होता है, कंपनी को अपनी फर्स्ट एजीएम कब कंडक्ट करनी चाहिए. सो एक्सेप्ट द फर्स्ट एजीएम, if the company is not able to hold its next AGM, it can ask for an extension period of not less than 3 months. And ये पावर देने का हक किसके पास है? ROC के पास. Then the ROC can inspect all the books of accounts, all the other books and documents as we saw because he is the main person जिसका सारा filing work, documentation work इसी बंदे के साथ record के नाम पे एडजस्ट किया जाता है एंड सेफली रिकॉर्ड होते रहता है. To seek in writing any information or explanation related to any document furnished to him. So मतलब if he thinks कि कोई भी document बराबर नहीं है या बराबर है, he can take in writing from the respective companies regarding and if any problem exists, he has got a proof कि आपने writing में दिया था मेरे को, इधर गड़बड़ हो गई है, so please come and rectify or adjust the same. Seek the special court to issue order for seizure of books or papers if he feels they can be destroyed, altered or falsified. अगर ROC को लगता है कि जो पेपर्स उसको सबमिट किए गए हैं they can be destroyed, झूठा साबित कर सकते हैं, उसका कॉपी बना सकते हैं, उसके साथ छेड़छाड़ हो सकती है, तो he can request the special court to seize. Seize means to freeze. इस तरीके से सेफ रख दो कि ना तो वो डिस्ट्रॉय हो सके, ना उसका कोई कॉपी कर सके, ना उसको खराब कर सके. So he has the power to give this permission, to ask for permission and give this order to the special court to seize such papers or documents जो उसकी custody में है. Strike off, that is remove the name of any company from register of companies. सारे कंपनीज जो एग्जिस्टेंस में आते हैं उन सब कंपनी का नाम रजिस्टर ऑफ कंपनीज में डाला जाता है and that is done by the ROC. So he has also got the power that if he wants, if he can strike off, नाम निकाल भी सकता है कंपनी का from the register of companies से अगर कुछ गड़बड़ होती है तो. So these are the powers of ROCs which we didn't study when we just studied about his introduction. So as you can see class, what all different powers ROC has. So I hope you all are clear with the topic. Now class, as you all know, last lecture में भी मैंने आपको समझाया था. First we are seeing the introduction of the statutory authorities, and as a secretary of a business organization, he or she has to enter into correspondence, which we have already seen in our previous 2 chapters. So similarly, even there exists a case where the secretary has to enter into communication with the ROC. तो ऐसा ही एक केस आपके टेक्स्ट बुक में दिया गया है and the name of the case is correspondence with ROC for extension of time for holding AGM. तो बच्चे लोग, अगर आप लोग गलती से ध्यान दे रहे हो तो मैंने अभी आपको पावर्स ऑफ ROC सिखाया. उसमें सबसे पहली पावर क्या थी? The ROC can extend the time period for the next AGM 3 महीने तक, not more than 3 months, but up till 3 months he can extend. तो इस एक्सटेंशन की परमिशन मांगने के लिए सेक्रेटरी कैन राइट अ लेटर टू द ROC. So चलो देखते हैं what is and how is the procedure. If a company cannot hold its AGM within the prescribed time limit, it has to seek an approval from the ROC for extension of time to hold the AGM. The ROC can give an extension of up to 3 months. Some of the reasons why a company may not be able to hold the AGM on time can be, क्या-क्या reasons हो सकते हैं बच्चे लोग? Number 1, most directors are traveling and so cannot attend the AGM. Strike by the employees for the last few months, which has stopped all the normal activities of the company. Raid by the authorities, that is income tax department. Annual financial statements are not approved, not audited, are incomplete due to natural calamity, loss of financial data, etc. तो इन सारे वजहों के reasons के वजह से the AGM cannot be held. तो the reasons were simple. Many directors are traveling, so they cannot attend in person. या तो strike हो गई है employees की, or else the accounts are not audited, checking नहीं हुई है, completely नहीं tally करके ready किए गए हैं because there was lack of financial data, और strike हो गई थी, और any reasons can be given. या raid हो गई authorities की वजह से, that is IT department ने raid मार दी है. So because of these reasons, the AGM could not be held on time. So now let's see what reason secretary is giving. Similarly, एक company ऐसी मुश्किल में आ गई है, AGM का prescribed time नहीं, जो time limit mention किया था उस time में नहीं हो पाई. So the secretary is asking permission to extend the time for the next 3 months. So the letter begins with the same as you all know class title, जिसके left side में you have the phone number, and the right side में you have got the website and email address, followed by date and reference number. So in this case, it is referred to ROC with respect to AGM, serial number 110. To the registrar of companies, the address given, subject extension of time for holding the 3rd annual general meeting. तो इनकी तीसरी meeting time पे नहीं हो पा रही है. So the secretary is writing letter with regards to the same. Dear sir, the Companies Act 2013 section 96 provides that every company other than OPC shall in each year hold an annual general meeting. Hence, as per the act, the company must hold its 3rd AGM on or before 30th September 2018 if the financial year is ending on 31st March 2018. So Companies Act के तहत section 96 says that if your company is not OPC क्या है बच्चे लोग? शाबाश, it's one person company, shall in each year hold an AGM. तो हर साल उसको एक AGM तो रखनी ही पड़ती है. And as per the act, the company must hold its 3rd AGM on or before 30th September. तो अगर आपका साल 31st March, now as you all know the financial year starts from 1st April and ends on 31st March. So अगर आपका financial year 31st March को खत्म हो रहा है तो your 3rd AGM should be done on or before 30th September. So from April 30th September will be May, June, July, August, September. That means within a period of 5 months, your 3rd AGM should be held. So we are sorry to inform you that our employees have been on strike since 20th June, and hence we have not been able to finalize our accounts on time. Therefore, in the given circumstances, we are not in a position to hold the AGM before 30th September. So I therefore request you to grant us an extension of 2 months for holding the AGM. That is up to 30th November, and we'll be highly obliged if you grant us the extension. तो इनके कंपनीज में द वर्कर्स आर ऑन स्ट्राइक एंड देयरफॉर दे आर नॉट एबल टू कंप्लीट देयर अकाउंट्स, और उसको नहीं लगता कि 30 सितंबर से पहले या 30 सितंबर तक कंपनी कुछ सेटल कर पाएगी. So that is why he or she is asking for extension period of 2 months, because the ROC can grant permission up till 3 months. So thanking you, yours faithfully for Sunrise Limited, signed by the company secretary. And enclosures दिया है copy of the annual report of previous year. 16-17 का दिया है, because 17-18 में दिक्कत आ रही है उनको. So previous year का दिया है कि पहले कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं थी, the company बहुत अच्छे से AGM वगैरह रूल्स फॉलो करके everything is perfect. Only this year, due to some of the issues, they are not able to conduct and follow the same pattern. So please consider and grant us the extension. So I hope bachcho log yella clear with this particular letter as well. Okay. So moving forward with the next and the last statutory authority, that is NCLT and NCALT. एक एक करके देखते हैं NCLT क्या है and NCLAT क्या होता है. So starting with NCLT, National Company Law Tribunal. It is a quasi-judicial body set up in June 2016 by the central government to grant approvals and decide certain disputes under the provision of Companies Act 2013. It handles corporate civil disputes. तो देखो हर कंपनी में disputes, झगड़े, problems arise होती ही है. Now to solve such disputes, such झगड़े, there has to be a particular organization set up by the law. तो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने सिविल डिस्प्यूट्स, कॉर्पोरेट सिविल डिस्प्यूट्स को हैंडल करने के लिए दे हैव अपॉइंटेड वन इंस्टीट्यूट कॉल्ड एज NCLT. So it was set up in June 2016 with regards to the same. तो अभी ट्रिब्यूनल में होता क्या है? The tribunal operates through benches consisting of 2 members, that is a judicial member and a technical member. At present, there are 15 benches and the principal bench is at New Delhi. Few more benches are being created. Benches का मतलब एक simple भाषा में बोलूं तो जो आप classrooms में बैठते हो ना, they are not talking about that benches. Benches का मतलब है committee, a group of people. So ये benches operate करते जैसे for example MNC. हेडक्वार्टर एक जगह है बट उसकी ब्रांचेस अलग अलग जगहों पे है ना, लाइक डोमिनोज, सब जगह आप दुनिया में कहीं पे भी जाओगे ऑल द डोमिनोज लुक्स द सेम. इन द सेम वे सच NCLT के बेंचेस है, मतलब अलग अलग ब्रांचेस अलग अलग सिटीज में एस्टैब्लिश किए गए हैं. एंड एवरी बेंच और एवरी ग्रुप विल हैव 2 मेंबर्स. एक होगा जुडिशियल मतलब फ्रॉम द लॉ बैकग्राउंड एंड द अदर विल बी फ्रॉम अ टेक्निकल बैकग्राउंड. So as such 15 बेंचेस है और उनका मेन जो प्रिंसिपल बेंच है, मेन हेड ऑफिस जो है वो न्यू दिल्ली में है. Now more efforts are being made to set up, increase the number of benches. The tribunal has to dispose of every application or petition within 3 months of receiving it. It has exclusive jurisdiction in respect of suits or proceedings, which is empowered to determine as per the Companies Act. Before passing its order, the tribunal gives reasonable opportunity of being heard to for concerned parties to justify their case. An appeal against the order of NCLT can be made to National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, NCLAT. I know बच्चे लोग मैंने पढ़ा और आपको एक वर्ड भी दिमाग में नहीं गया, so don't worry about it. मैं अभी समझा रही हूँ, सुन के ले लो वो 5 लाइन्स क्या थी. तो हमने देखा ये बेंचेस अलग अलग जगहों पे एस्टैब्लिश करने की कोशिश की जा रही है. Now what time is given to NCLTs? अगर आपके पास कोई डिस्प्यूट आती है, you have got a time period of 3 months to solve it. So या तो आप डिसीजन दो या नहीं दो, that you have to decide within a month, within a period of 3 months. Now before giving the final or reply, the NCLT gives equal opportunity to both the parties. जिसके बीच में डिस्प्यूट चल रही है, जो केस उनके पास आया है, दोनों की बातें सुनने का, आपस में बात करने का टाइम दिया जाता है, and then the NCLT has to make its decision. But if the concerned party is not happy with the decision given by the NCLT, so it can approach a higher court than that, NCLAT. तो ये सिंपल भाषा में आप लोग को समझाओ तो आपको पता है ना, अलग अलग लेवल्स पे कोर्ट्स होते हैं, डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट, उसके ऊपर हाई कोर्ट, उसके ऊपर सुप्रीम कोर्ट. तो द सुप्रीम कोर्ट इज द मैक्सिमम लेवल ऑफ कोर्ट इन टू सीक जस्टिस. तो बेसिकली अगर बंदा हाई कोर्ट से खुश नहीं है तो वो कहाँ अपील कर सकता है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट पे जा सकता है. So in the same way, if the party to which the decision was given is not happy या उसको लग रहा है कि मेरे साथ जस्टिस नहीं हुआ है, so it can make an appeal to NCLAT, जिसका फुल फॉर्म है नेशनल कंपनी लॉ अपीलेट ट्रिब्यूनल. अभी समझा क्या बोला गया है वहां पे? ओके, ऑल राइट. तो लेट्स सी व्हाट आर द पावर्स ऑफ NCLT. तो लॉ ने, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने उनको क्या क्या पावर दी है. Now, out of the 7 powers given in your text, the first 5 powers याद रखने का बहुत सिंपल, अच्छा सा सिंपल कोड बनाया मैंने. आपकी जो 5 powers of NCLT वो स्टार्ट होती है hear and decide, hear and decide. सुनो फिर डिसाइड करो, सुनो फिर डिसाइड करो, hear and decide. ओके, तो ऑफ कोर्स पहले वो सुनेगी, उसके बाद ही डिसीजन देगी. So hear and decide on all the proceedings related to compromise, arrangement and reconstruction of a company. दूसरा आता है hear and decide on all winding up petitions on the ground of inability to pay the debts and on other ground. So first, अगर कोई dispute है related to compromise, settlement या reconstruction, तो उस basis पे it can take the decision and help out to different companies. अगर किसी कंपनी को बंद करना है बिकॉज इट इज नॉट इन अ पोजिशन टू पे ऑफ द डेट्स, बहुत सारे कर्जे लिए थे बट अभी चुका नहीं पा रहे हैं, तो उनको वाइंड ऑफ करना ही पड़ेगा. तो इस मामले में NCLT कैन टेक द डिसीजंस. हियर एंड डिसाइड ऑन पिटीशंस रिलेटेड टू एक्सटेंशन ऑफ टाइम फॉर रीपेमेंट्स ऑफ डिपॉजिट. जो टाइम बोला गया था उसमें द कंपनी वाज नॉट एबल टू रीपे, तो सेक्रेटरी ने लेटर लिखा एंड एक्सटेंशन मांगा, टाइम पीरियड का एक्सटेंशन दिया भी, स्टिल द कंपनी इज नॉट एबल टू रीपे द डिपॉजिट्स टेकन फ्रॉम द पब्लिक. तो ऐसे मामलों में भी द NCLT कैन टेक डिसीजन. हियर एंड डिसाइड ऑन केसेस पर्टेनिंग टू मिसमैनेजमेंट एंड ऑपरेशन ऑफ अ कंपनी. ऑपरेशन मतलब गलत, फ्रॉड, गंदे गलत काम किए होंगे, फंस चुकी है कंपनी. सो ऑन दैट बेसिस आल्सो इट कैन हियर एंड डिसाइड. हियर एंड डिसाइड ऑन ग्रीवियंसेस ऑफ रिजेक्शन इन ट्रांसफरिंग शेयर्स एंड सिक्योरिटीज. द कंपनीज शेयर्स एंड सिक्योरिटीज के ट्रांसफर्स रिजेक्ट कर दिए हैं कोर्ट ने. व्हाई, ऑन व्हाट बेसिस, क्या प्रॉब्लम थी, वो सब भी डिसाइड करने का पावर किसके पास है? NCLT. So are you clear with the 5 powers? Hear and decide, hear and decide, hear and decide, hear and decide, hear and decide. So compromise होगा या extension period के मामले में, या grievances of rejection and transferring हो सकता है. The company is not able to pay the debts, तो उसको बंद करो. All these decisions can be taken by NCLT. इसके अलावा there are 2 more powers given, that is call for holding AGM और EOGM of a company. AGM का full form आप लोगों को आता है annual general meeting. EOGM is extraordinary general meeting. तो बच्चे लोग, this I'll be covering in detail in the coming videos now when we'll be starting with chapter number 7. तो अपना 7th और 8th chapter बच गया है, उसमें in detail will be covering about companies meetings. तो 2 टाइप की मीटिंग होती है, अभी के लिए जान लो. एक होता है AGM एनुअल जनरल मीटिंग और एक होता है EOGM एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी जनरल मीटिंग. डायरेक्ट अ कंपनी नॉट टू डिस्पोज ऑफ द फंड्स ऑफ अ कंपनी and to freeze the assets of a company from being used against the interest of a company. So if the company, उसने decide कर लिया कि कंपनी को बंद करना है, वाइंड ऑफ करना है, so it can direct the company कि आप आपके फंड्स को कहीं पे भी इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते because we have blocked it, we have freezed it, और आप उन फंड्स को इस्तेमाल नहीं कर सकते because now it is under their custody. तो ये पावर भी बोलने का हक किसके पास है? NCLT. So I hope you all are clear with the, तो NCLT आप मान सकते हो बच्चे लोग ये हाई कोर्ट लेवल की है. अब इसके ऊपर और एक कमीशन बिठाई गई है जिसका नाम दिया है NCLAT, जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के लेवल की हो सकती है, जैसे मैंने आपको अभी बताया था. So let's see what is NCLAT all about. The Companies Act 2013 has empowered the central government to set up NCLT to hear appeals against the orders of NCLT or the National Financial Reporting Agency. NCLAT was also set up in June 2016. It is headed by a chairperson and has maximum 11 members comprising of judicial and technical members. NCLAT is also the appellate tribunal for hearing appeals against the orders passed by Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India, Competition Commission of India, etc. तो बेसिकली एक ऐसी इंस्टीट्यूट है जो ना ही NCLT से नाखुश लोगों की पिटीशन सुनती है, but apart from it, people, even the companies who are not happy, from the institutes like insolvency and bankruptcy related issues also it handles. Competition Commission of India, competition means monopoly versus monopoly, मतलब एक जहाँ पे रूल होता है versus many different types of companies, तो वो सारे related issues भी this particular institute undertakes. वहां पे सिर्फ 2 मेंबर थे, यहाँ पे 11 मेंबर है, इनमें इंक्लूडेड है जुडिशियल एंड टेक्निकल मेंबर्स बोथ. Any person aggrieved by an order of the tribunal may within 45 days from the date on which the copy of the order was made available file an appeal to the appellate tribunal. The appellate tribunal may confirm, modify or set aside the order of the tribunal. So if you all are not happy with the decision within 45 days ka period of time, you can make an appeal to NCLAT and depending upon the decision passed by NCLT, it can see कि मेरे को कंफर्म करना है, मॉडिफाई करना है या इसको बदल ही देना है इसका डिसीजन. An appeal against the order of NCLAT may be filed by the aggrieved person to the Supreme Court. तो अगर अब ये बंदा हैप्पी नहीं है, तो पहले मैंने आपको क्या बोला था, मान लो NCLT हाई कोर्ट है, NCLAT सुप्रीम कोर्ट है, बट नाउ कंसिडर NCLT डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल का कोर्ट है. तुम हैप्पी नहीं थे, तुमने हाई कोर्ट में अपील करी जो बन गया NCLAT. अब तुम उसके भी डिसीजन से खुश नहीं हो, सो यू कैन मेक एन अपील डायरेक्टली टू द सुप्रीम कोर्ट, द हाईएस्ट अथॉरिटी इन द कंट्री, विद इन 60 डेज ऑफ रिसीट ऑफ द ऑर्डर ऑफ NCLAT. तो 60 दिनों के अंदर अंदर अगर इफ यू आर नॉट हैप्पी विद NCLAT का डिसीजन, यू कैन मेक एन अपील टू द सुप्रीम कोर्ट फॉर द सेम. So now we will see under what condition the secretary enters into correspondence with NCLT or NCALT. Letter to NCLT seeking extension of time to repay public deposits. बोला था ना extension मांग सकते हैं to repay the deposits which it has collected from the public or members. उनको pay नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, so it is asking for a time extension. Public deposits are deposits which are accepted by a company from the public for a maximum period of 36 months. Minimum 6 महीने के लिए होता है. Maximum it is for 36 months. That is 3 years. Strict actions are taken against the company for any default with regards to acceptance or repayments of deposit. Company can request NCLT to give extension of time for repayment of deposits. तो बच्चे लोग, this particular topic next year you are having it in detail in your SP subject. अभी के लिए खाली इतना जान लो, जैसे आप बैंक में FD वगैरह करते हो for a certain period of time, तो आपको इंटरेस्ट के साथ वो अमाउंट वापस मिलता है. Same way you can give your money to the company, okay, again for a specific period of time and company इंटरेस्ट के साथ आपका प्रिंसिपल अमाउंट भी वापस करना होता है कंपनी ने. But if it is not able to do, वही situation आपके सामने रखी हुई है, so it is asking for extension of repayment of time. तो आपका maturity time नजदीक आ गया, but the company is not able to make you the payment. So letter की शुरुआत same तरीके से की जा रही है, written by the title, name of the company along with address and CIN. Given the phone numbers, website and email, followed by date on the right hand side and reference number on the left hand side. NCLT/101E. So to the National Company Law Tribunal Board, the address is given, subject extension of time to repay the public deposit. Dear sir, the company had accepted public deposits worth 10 lakh rupees on 1st Jan 2017 for a period of 2 years. The deposits are to be repaid on or before 31st December 2018. However, as the company is facing severe financial problem, it is unable to repay the deposits on the above mentioned date. The board held a meeting on 29 September 2018 and passed a resolution for seeking extension from you, that is NCLT, for a period of 2 months to repay the deposit. Therefore, we wish to seek an extension of 2 months to repay it. Copy of the petition is attached in 2 sets. We assure you that the company will repay the deposits on or before 28 Feb 2019. So the company had accepted public deposits. उन्होंने बोला 10 लाख रुपए का on 1st Jan 2017 for a period of 2 years. But the deposits are to be repaid on or before 31st December 2018. कंपनी की फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन उतनी स्ट्रांग नहीं है, सो इट इज अनेबल टू रीपे द डिपॉजिट्स ऑन टाइम. तो हम आपसे थोड़ी विनती कर रहे, गुजारिश कर रहे, प्लीज गिव अस एन एक्सटेंशन पीरियड ऑफ 2 more months so that we can arrange the concerned amount and slowly give it back to the public. तो इसके लिए हमारी बोर्ड मीटिंग हेल्ड हुई थी जिसमें रेजोल्यूशन वाज पास टू सीक परमिशन फ्रॉम यू फॉर द सेम. So therefore, we are asking for an extension of 2 months to repay it. So please हमारी request consider कर लो, and we promise that we'll be repaying the deposits on or before 28 Feb 2019. Thanking you, yours faithfully, for Sunrise Limited, signed by company secretary. So what are the enclosures are being sent to NCLAT? Board resolution का xerox copy, certified copy. पेटिशन फॉर एक्सटेंशन ऑफ टाइम जो उन्होंने फाइल करी है, एंड चलान फॉर द फीस पे. तो आपकी फीस भी हमने पे करी है, वॉट एवर फीस यू आर चार्जिंग, उसका चलान भी भेजा गया है. सो प्लीज कंसिडर एंड हेल्प अस आउट फॉर द सेम. So are you clear, बच्चे लोग? In this way, this particular 4 institutes are governed and appointed by the central government to keep a record of different things happening in different departments. And with this, we are done with chapter number 12. That is, in this way, the secretary enters into correspondence with various statutory authorities. So thank you so much, Bachelog. I'll stop here for the day. I hope you'll find the video beneficial. And if you do, a small request before I wind off, share the link across with various friends, forward it, spread the word, and please support me so that I can put such videos more and help you out to learn the topic in such a situation where learning has become difficult. But putting some efforts that you love learning, at least not love, at least learn karenge, concept seekhenge, and hope you'll enjoy it. All right. So with this note, take care, stay safe. I'll pack for the day. Thank you so much for listening to me till we meet in our next session. So I pack for the day. Thank you so much, Bachelo.